Everybody, Christina here with One Creative Direction. How are we doing? So tonight we're going to do a real quick video on Brite Tone. I do have quite a few videos on Brite Tone on my channel. So if you're new to Crystalac products, if you're a fluid artist and you're looking for something to coat your artwork, Brite Tone is a really good option, especially if you previously used resin and you're looking for something that's a non-toxic choice. So one of the questions that I've been getting quite a bit, that I see quite a bit is, Crystalac's kind of expensive. I don't know if I want to go that route. So I wanted to kind of address that because it is a really big part of the decision in switching from, resin or maybe Liquitex or some other coating to use Brite Tone. So I really want to break that down so you understand just how economical Brite Tone is. I know when you look at a container, you think, oh, I think these are for a pint now. I think it costs, I think I wrote it down. I think I wrote that down for a pint, which this is a pint. I usually buy a quart at a time. So a pint is $38.50, a quart is $54.50. Right now it's an extra 10% off if you catch my last video. And a lot of times they'll run sales as well. But a lot of people will look at this container and think, oh man, that is a lot of money for that small container. And I think in their mind, they're thinking, comparative to resin. But I want to break it down for you so you understand that even this little pint container is going to coat a lot more things than if you had the same quantity of resin. Let me explain, okay? So if you've seen any of the other videos or you know how Crystalac Brite Tone works, you apply it in a much different manner. You don't pour it on and it's not a thick layer. You are building thinner layers to build that gloss and that protection. So you're not using as much each coat, and there's no right or wrong number of coats. It's just you coat it until you get to the gloss level that you like. So what I've been doing here recently, just to try to break that down for everybody that's kind of wondering, hey, do I want to take that leap? So what I tried to do is I keep my Brite Tone in a bottle because I also put an extender in it. You can add 2% of this into your Brite Tone. It gives you a little bit of extra working time. So what I do is, before I start, I've been doing this for, I've coated a few things, so I just kind of wanted to show you how cheap it is, really, how economical it is to coat things. So what I do is I weigh the bottle in milliliters before I coat and then after I coat to kind of get an estimate of how many milliliters I'm using for that coat, and then I timed that by the number of coats that I put on it, and I'm using 5 as an average. Sometimes I just put 4, but most of the time, depending, it's 5. I like the look of 5 layers. So just to give you an idea, I do a lot of coasters, so the 4x4 ceramic coasters, and then I do some wood coasters. They're about this thick. So about the same size, just under 4 inches. So I coated a whole set of 4 of the wood ones, and it cost about 40 cents total. You're using less than a half of a milliliter each time for the full set. So you times that by 5, it's less than 2.5, and I'm using what I think I paid for my quart of Brite Tone. I always average everything high, even though I know it's probably a less. So I'm using 8 cents per per milliliter, which I think is on the high side. I think it's probably closer to like 6.5. But like I said, I like to go higher, just so I know that I'm getting my money. Now, what I also did when I calculated my cost is I took the whole container. So I took the quart and I figured out how much it cost, or how many milliliters were in the quart, and then how much I paid per cost. I included shipping, and I actually added in a percentage of waste, because you're going to get a little bit of waste, like from the container, from your brush. Each time you use it, you wash some of it off. So I did include some waste in that. So you just kind of keep those kind of things in mind when you're doing this type of a study. So in addition to the coasters, so again, a set of 4, whether it's the ceramic or the wood, less than 40 cents for 5 coats, and you're done. So for the whole set, so for each coaster, you're talking, you know, less than 10 cents. So that's pretty darn good for a top coat, okay? And it's UV resistant. It doesn't yellow like resin does. So just kind of keep that in mind. One of the next things I did was a 15 by 30 level 3. So it's the deep edge canvas. I did 5 coats and the total cost was less than $5. It had a really nice gloss to it. I did a 16 by 20. It was one of those canvas board type that Hobby Lobby sells. The size was 16 by 20. I think I put 5 layers. I'm pretty sure I put 5 layers on there. And this is a high estimate, but it was definitely under $4 for the top coat. So comparative to resin, the top coat is much less. And on top of the actual, product itself, the only equipment you really need for Brite Tone, and this isn't even necessary, it's just easier for me to apply than using it straight out of the container. It comes in, one smaller than this, I think an 8 ounce, and then it comes in this, a quart, and then a gallon. And I did figure out that it is much cheaper to buy it by the gallon. So if you're doing volume, and you're doing a lot of paintings, a lot of large paintings, it's even cheaper. It's almost half the cost than if you're buying the quart per milliliter. So keep that in mind. If I ever, increase the volume of my artwork, I may consider buying a gallon of it, but it's pretty inexpensive. And then on top of that, you have to consider the fact that you're not buying the gloves and the stir sticks and the containers you mix your resin in, and all of the PPE involved, the respirators and the arm guards, and I mean all of the various things. And if you can't do it in your garage or something, I know some people have those portable rooms that they have to set up. Those are quite expensive. And then a lot of people use the full suits over their clothes to keep, contain the decontamination. So, I mean, depending on how much you're paying for PPE, I mean, this product, it hands down for just the cost part of it, it definitely beats resin. So I just wanted to come to you with, just some information, kind of break it down for you and let you know that, although, when you look at a container of Brite Tone and you think that, it's really, really expensive, it lasts a long time. I remember when I first started, I think I bought this size, which is a pint. And of course, when you're just starting, you're not coating as much art. I think it lasted me 10 months, maybe a year. The next time I purchased a quart, and it lasted me a good 8 months. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. Hopefully this was helpful for anyone that's maybe on the fence about, switching, trying Crystalac, whatever. Just reach out to me if you have any questions. Be happy to help. I do have a lot of videos on application and tips and, you know, troubleshooting and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, check those out. Have lots of those. So really appreciate you guys coming along today. And let me know if you have any questions. Please hit the like button. I really appreciate it. And catch you guys on the next one. Bye now.